Good
I'm
morning.
trying
How
to.
are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, and you?
Very well, thank you.
Looks very light there where you are.
I have,
Lovely
it's a good
natural light.
it's a good hour. Yes.
Yeah. So Brian, I keep following you on Facebook because I photographed you in your window and you sang so beautifully for me, and I love that song. And but I've been following you and this project that you had, Stay Hydrated. That was a recording you did, wasn't it?
That's right. That was an album production we did last year. It was
Mm,
also a big, like all of my album productions, it was together with a large crowdfunding
mm,
um, pre-sale of the album, which
mm.
went very well, and along with some funding from the Austrian Österreichische Musikfonds, we were able to complete that album in October of last year, and we're still waiting to hear about when we will be able to do the CD release concert because we're waiting for the right venue to confirm.
Oh, okay. So you did that throughout the lockdown time.
Yeah, although the summer was fairly open, as you can
Oh,
remember.
okay. Yeah. Um, and now you're doing another. Do you need? You're doing another concert or another recording? What is this
Uh,
new?
yes, both
Yeah.
of those things. There are quite a
Yeah.
quite a number of different projects going on. Quite a
Yeah.
lot of concerts coming up the next few months.
Mm,
We're currently in the middle of a crowdfunding for the Earl Kings. The Earl Kings is my Kunstlieder Schubert, Schumann, Beethoven band. And our next
mm,
project is a double album project of Beethoven and Schubert lieder.
mm.
We're crowdfunding that at wemakeit.com right now. And that would be presented at the Bayerische Rundfunkstudio in April of next year in Munich when it's all finished. So we're
Oh,
just in the, excuse me, I have a little bit of allergies.
no,
Um,
that's fine.
but that'll be, yeah, so that'll be several more months, but we're currently doing the crowdfunding so people can buy the album already and buy private concerts or other funny things from our crowdfunding. And then I'll be doing another one at the beginning of next month in July for my guitar duo of Neapolitan songs with my colleague Václav Fuchsa, a Czech guitar player.
Yeah.
And yeah, those are kind of all going on at the same time with lots of different concerts, and got a
Mm.
concert tonight in the
Oh,
Mood
wonderful.
Theater,
Mm.
and concerts on most days actually
Mm.
the next while.
So how does it feel to be back and to have this more, normality or more something to be able to work for than during the time in lockdown?
Um, Good. I mean, I was always also during the lockdown always very easy for me to come up with things to do and goals for myself, whether it was books that I wanted to read or projects I wanted to finish or songs I wanted to write. So it's certainly nice that I can turn back to concerts and connecting with audiences and making money, of course, and everything. But it's just a reshuffling of priorities. It's not. I mean, it is more to do in the sense that everything I have to do now is outside of the house, whereas before everything was inside of the house. But
Yeah.
it's a similar level of activity because it's just, it's starting to slowly feel like business as usual from before. I
Mm.
enjoyed the break, but I'm glad it's back again.
Yeah, and with tonight will be will this be your first performance back?
No, I had some house concerts last month. I played last night in Altenmarkt in a place called the Kulturbahnhof. That was a
Mm.
lot of fun, and tonight is another show. Yeah.
Mm. Do you feel the audiences are really happy to be back and enjoying
Hmm.
these live concerts that they can now attend?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure,
Mm.
which is lovely for us.
I feel even in the streets at night now, when you know that the restaurants are open, there's such
Mm,
a lovely atmosphere again, and
I agree. Yeah.
yeah, all coming back. So tell me about the concert that you have at the Moot tonight.
Well, we have so a friend of mine, composer and clarinet professor at the MDV. His name is
Mm,
Christoph Zimper. He's composed a mass, a messe,
mm.
and together with some other compositions of his, will be presented. Actually, it's on an album that we all recorded, and the album is technically being released this evening.
Mm.
And he and I'm one of the soloists in the mass, and he's taken one of my songs and turned it into one of the movements of the mass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so it's turned into a really wonderful project. We're all super excited about it.
Mm.
Yeah,
And will this be streamed or
I
is
think
it?
so actually. Yeah, I think they will be doing a live stream as well,
Mm.
and filming it, which is cool. But there'll also be an audience of up to 200 people.
Oh, okay, that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So where will we be able to find this link? Is it from the theater?
on the Moot website,
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but and you say Nick, a lot of projects next. I know you said to me last time when we spoke, you have these different things that you do, different but not bands, but groups that you
Sure. Yeah.
are
Bands.
involved in. Yeah, yeah. Um, do you find that is it keeps it a sort of challenging or motivating to have these different genres that you do?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I never started it because I wanted a challenge, although it is challenging at times. I think as more on the contrary, I do it because it suits my personality very
Mm,
well, and so I feel much more engaged and satisfied by having different projects to work on. And also, it's just I think it's smart. In a place like Vienna, things tend to move a little bit more slowly than they do in other cities. Maybe you're going to compare it to London or New York or something like that. And I think it's always better to plant multiple trees if you can, and water them and take care of them, and they'll all grow at different speeds. And I find I'm not particularly patient by nature, and so I find that if I can't actively work on one project, it's nice for me to have another project to actively work on,
mm,
because sometimes all you can do with the project is wait and just continue to do it and wait for it to catch on and gain some momentum. And so I've always appreciated having another project to work on while that other one was incubating or gaining momentum. And that way I always feel, engaged and creative, and, there's always something to do, which is very nice.
mm. And what would you say is your real love? What type of music and or is it the writing of the songs? What is the thing that really is your place,
Mm.
your thing?
Yeah. Well, I have the tremendous luxury of not needing to engage in any activity that I don't absolutely love.
Oh, okay. Mm,
Yeah, so I have constructed a career and a life based around things that I very much want to be doing, that I've chosen to do, and that fortunately have started to be successful. And um, I think my favorite thing, my place to answer your question has nothing to do with playing music or anything like that. My favorite thing is being a human being. I'm
oh,
enjoying
wonderful.
that. I'm
Mm,
enjoying that more and more, and I feel like making music and having the different projects that I do is just one way that I get to engage with my
mm.
humanity.
Okay. So you would say you're a happy person. You're a happy man.
Sure, yeah. I mean, not always, but I'm definitely trying to engage as consciously as possible with the experience of being a human from day to day.
Mm. Um, can you see something, a change that came from this period, this
Hmm,
pandemic and this lockdown period
yeah,
in you and in the way you do your thing, your music?
yeah, absolutely. I feel like I really had the time to discover inner space, more
Mm,
inner space. For me, that revealed itself through reading, through spending a lot of time reading, which is interesting because you're reading other people's thoughts, and in a way it's like thinking, but through the act of imagining and empathizing and trying to understand and find yourself in really what I consider to be quality literature, you are actually expanding and building your inner space.
Mm.
And as a result of the last several months, particularly since about February, I've really felt like I've come into an awareness of a much vaster um, inner space that was always there, but that I now feel like I have a more conscious relationship to, and that definitely affects the way that I interact with people, with the world, with my own creativity and stuff like that. And it was a real treat. Hmm.
All
Excuse me,
right.
someone's
And-
calling me. I got it to decline.
Okay.
I'm back.
You're back. Okay.
It's a real it was a real pleasure to get to well, something I've been saying a lot lately to try to explain it to people is that being a performer and living that lifestyle is at what I would consider a pretty high vibration, like pretty fast. You're pretty involves a lot of not just stress, but just like engagement, high vibration. You got to be on, and certain level of nervousness and stress and stuff like that, always preparing and everything. And to be able to slow down to such a degree, lower that vibration, to be able to just spend a day reading for 6 hours and not
Mm.
need to be anywhere, not need to speak to anybody. I learned very much the value of that. And it's something that, even though it's proving to be difficult now as things open up again, it's
Mm.
something that I would like to maintain in my life and find
Mm.
keep as a priority.
Mm. So you think that also this because you said you're not very patient, but do you think this because it was a very long stretch of every time we thought this is over now, and then there comes another
Mm.
lockdown, and feel that this time period, and where you said now that you could spend reading and go slower, that it could maybe uh, also affect the way that I'm thinking, the way that we go forward, that we're not in such a rush to achieve anything, but that we know that time will bring the solutions or the end result.
Um, was there a question in there?
Yeah, I think.
Sorry.
Do you find that? Do you think about that? In yourself, because you also have many projects and things. So I can imagine that for you on a daily basis, like you say, you're just thinking of all these things. But do you have the sense that we've been through this, and the time that things will have a way of resolving themselves, or have a way of goals be achieved, or that there's no rush always to get these things done?
Sure. I mean, but I've always thought that. I've
Oh,
felt that
okay.
way also before the pandemic. I think when I said that I'm impatient, that was just a very rough way of saying that I prefer to be dynamic and interacting with the things that are important to me, as opposed to being more, or it's comes to me less naturally to be passive in my engagement with things. But no, I do have a lot of impatience, and with the pandemic and everything, I mean, I found it impossible to take it personally, which was
Yeah.
one big thing. Just
Mm,
not everybody seemed to feel that way.
mm,
Um, and I knew that I had absolutely zero control. I still have absolutely zero control over it. So from the very beginning, it was a priority to me to exercise as much surrender as possible to the situation. And the less resistance you have to a situation, the less you polarize with it and feel blocked by it. So I think that's
mm,
probably why I was able to get so much good out of it.
mm,
I think for me, one of the most important things to come out of it, that I hope other people had similar experiences, is a chance to evaluate with what units of measurement we're evaluating our own lives. What are the measuring sticks we're using to measure success and happiness and progress and all that stuff? And I think a lot of people have had an opportunity to reconsider and to see, even in some cases, that the measuring sticks they've been using to to measure their own success are not really the ones that they've chosen themselves. They're just ones that they've either inherited or have been forced upon them by society. And we all had a chance to kind of reevaluate what's actually important to us in that sense. People who had the experience in a conscious way, I think, did that. Not everybody was able to. Some people were under a lot more stress than others. I was in a relatively stress-free situation. So yeah, as usual, I continue to feel very, very grateful for the way it all was, the way it all is.
Well, I like your energy.
Thank you very much.
You have a very, very wonderful way of looking at things. Yeah. When I hit the low, I'm going to invite you for coffee. That's
Please do.
So you're
Please
very
do.
inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you so much for your time, and again, thank you for singing for me in the window. This
My pleasure. Thanks for the photographs.
very beautiful, beautiful song that you did, and for giving me your time today as well.